Hey everyone, James Rath here. So, if you can't tell already by my voice, I'm actually kind of sick right now, and that's not going to stop me though, because this video needs to get done before the 1st of January, so... It's the end of the year, and 2016 has been the most impactful year for me yet. I know a lot of you are new to the channel, so I just thought it'd be a good idea to rewind and recap 2016. I started the year off by exploring my troubles of falling asleep and becoming a night owl in my short film Nocturnal. Then I wrapped up the month with tutorials and iMovie and getting into mobile filmmaking. In February, I got a glimpse at 2020 vision with a piece of assistive technology called eSight. Then I discussed some rather discouraging encounters I had regarding my blindness at Chipotle Mexican grill restaurants. Due to those events, I did more research on the nature of ableism and discussed my thoughts in a video. To wrap up the month on a fun note, fellow YouTuber Ricky Pointer and I collaborated on a couple Pokemon 20th anniversary videos. Jumping into March, I finally got to announce that I'd be speaking on a panel at the premier online video convention VidCon in June. Next, I released one of my most successful short films to date, How Apple Saved My Life. In this mini documentary, I spoke about the impact of having tech devices with accessibility in mind from the start of their release. I dived deep into my dark past and explained that if it weren't for the accessibility features that were in Apple devices enabling me to follow my passions back then, I might not have been around today. The movie was shared by tech blogs and made its way to Apple, where the CEO Tim Cook personally tweeted the movie, which got me a call from Good Morning America, featured on CNN and the Huffington Post. Afterwards, I released another video exploring the common negative language we may use in our everyday lives, but without actually knowing the real meanings. I end the month proposing to YouTube an audio description feature that works natively for creators and viewers into the video player. #AudioDescribeYT prompted other creators to discuss the importance of accessible video for the blind on their channels. In April, I showed off Facebook's artificial intelligence efforts that try to allow the blind to know what's in photos shared on the social network. Next, I launched a new 6-episode vlog series on my channel called Rath Weekends. In the first episode, I announced that I'd be speaking at YouTube Convention Playlist Live in Orlando about diversity. In the same episode, we also got a private tour of the YouTube space in LA. In the next episode, we headed towards Florida to attend Playlist Live. We reunited with old friends, met new ones, did my workshop, and spent the last night taking over Universal Studios with 400 other YouTubers. In May, I started the month off by talking about the importance of sharing positivity on social media. This was due to all the negative tension going on between politics, crimes, and discrimination. Next, I released the 3rd episode of Rath Weekends, where along with 3 other friends, I went hiking, but while doing so, I tribute my recently late grandmother and her legacy. Next, I released a collaboration video with my good friend Christina, also known as Beauty Checky, where we talked about balancing in academics and YouTube on my channel. Over on her channel, we discussed the impact of bullying. Afterwards, I sat down with a few sighted friends and we watched the movie with audio descriptions. First we watched blindfolded, then we watched with sight, and then we turned off the audio descriptions and just watched, with our eyes. It was interesting to see the benefits of it being on or off, and how people with sight actually respond to audio descriptions. Then episode 4 of Rath Weekends went live. Not the most safe for work, but my friends and I attended an undie run, a march around a college campus in our underwear to celebrate the end of the semester. In episode 5, I was influenced by indie filmmaker of Wong Fu Productions, Philip Wang, who made a video about the misrepresentation of his community. So I sat down and discussed my thoughts on the misrepresentation of people with disabilities in Hollywood. In the final episode of Rath Weekends, we went back to where it all started, YouTube Space LA. Only this time we went to celebrate Asian American Pacific Heritage Month with our friends Zachary, Jeremy, and Kenson. The event was hosted by Wong Fu Productions and featured awards, musical performances, and delicious food. Starting off on June 1st, I released a video about my acceptance with my identity of being legally blind. Next, I released a short film entirely shot on an iPad called iPhone Be My Eyes, showing the real-world uses of using an iPhone as an assistive device. Next, I answered your questions in video format with my first blind Q&A. Afterwards, I went and saw the newly released Pixar film Finding Dory in theaters with audio descriptions using Disney's Movies Anywhere app. My next video was a vlog journaling my first VidCon as a featured creator. After VidCon, I also submitted a pitch for a TV pilot to Skype, but that was a secret then. In July, I released a film for a contest hosted by Canon called Rebel with a Cause. This was made to share what makes me a rebel, breaking from the conventional ways of storytelling, and what my cause is to do so. Following that was a load of collaboration videos that was shot at VidCon the month prior. Molly Burke shared insight with me on living with a guide dog. Next, I released a collaborative short film highlighting some of the many voices in our YouTubers with Disabilities community and what we're striving for. Then Ricky Pointer and I talked about what the dating scene is like for us while having a disability. Afterwards, fellow blind YouTuber JD Dalton and I talked about some assistive devices that we used while growing up. Wrapping up the month, I finally made the announcement that I'm making a TV pilot with funding provided by Skype. In August, I finally released my very first 360-degree short film, Blind Man Tours VidCon in 360 degrees. That same day, I released another video called Dogs at YouTube Space in 360 degrees, detailing how to view 360 content properly while also participating in a virtual reality event at YouTube. Next up, I made a video sadly addressing the massacre of many people with disabilities in Japan that took place on the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Following that important video, I discussed how someone like myself who's legally blind could possibly play Pokémon Go. Then with back to school season starting here in the States, I made a video talking about how I managed to ask for help in class, and that was to help anyone out there possibly struggling with their resources. Wrapping up the month, I went on a road trip to location scout for my TV pilot. On the way, I filmed a video about how people with disabilities can get permission into any national park in the United States for free. Transitioning into September, I made videos strictly about technology and accessibility that month. Starting off, before I boarded a plane back to LA, I made a video about how popular app Instagram finally enabled pinch to zoom. They also updated their app to allow for larger text. Next, Apple released iOS 10, so with that I made a video detailing some of the new accessibility features that could be found, including Magnifier and native software for tvOS. My friend Ricky launched a campaign about the automated crappy captions not being a proper solution for captioning videos. I took part in this campaign where I watched a video of Casey Nystagmus muted that wasn't captioned, and honestly I had no idea what was happening due to the automated captions not providing accurate transcriptions. Towards the end of the month, I visited the Streamy Awards, and then I made a video about why I write image descriptions in my social media images. In October, I celebrated my YouTube channel's 10th anniversary, and with that I released my short film about Nystagmus called My Dancing Eyes, along with an audio-described version separately due to YouTube still not announcing any plans to make their site more accessible to the blind. In November, I visited the YouTube space for their first ever accessibility summit, and still no plans for audio descriptions were announced. Then I celebrated my 21st birthday, and at the same time shot the pilot for Playback, my TV documentary. Stay tuned for more details on that in 2017. I also made a video specifically on the Magnifier feature in iOS 10, and I also talked about the benefits of the iPhone 7 Plus's dual cameras. Lastly, in December, we kicked off the month with a collaborative video featuring Elijah K from his channel JustASkinnyBoy, talking about how autism and blindness can sometimes share similar symptoms growing up. In my next video, I sat down and got pretty real with you all about the truth regarding my vision problems. Basically, my eyes are different and shouldn't be seen as something that needs to be fixed. Next, I released a much anticipated collab video with fellow blind YouTuber Tommy Edison, also known as the Blind Film Critic. We did challenges comparing legal blindness with total blindness on his channel, while on mine we looked back at my short film My Dancing Eyes and had Tommy experience it with and without audio descriptions. Afterwards, we talked about the difference that the descriptions make for the blind viewers. Then I got my hands on Snapchat's hot new gadget, the Spectacles, that feature a hands-free camera. I reviewed the Spectacles and even gave a pair away. The winner will be announced in a week, so stay tuned. Then I sat down to answer more of your questions in my second blind Q&A video with questions like, when did you realize you were blind? And most recently, I released a new video called How Blind People See at Night, showcasing all the ways that I go about navigating in LA in the dark. And lastly, here we are. What an incredible year it has been. Thank you all so much for all the support and for sharing the videos. This year saw the most content, growth, and opportunities from this channel than ever before. I'm aiming to make 2017 even greater. If you'd like to catch up on any of these videos, links will be in the descriptions, along with my social media links to follow. If you guys want to see anything in 2017, please let me know. I already have tons of videos planned and plenty of collaborations, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to open this up. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas, maybe you guys are wanting to see specific things, but with that, I hope you all have a happy new year.